Uh, Very good morning, students. So, after taking a long break, we are back to our normal syllabus, and during these days, I have uploaded the previous sessions till now. And in the last class, what we have discussed, we will just uh, revise once again. So, in the last class, we have seen what is a shell and the types of shells which are available in Unix flavors like corn, born again shell, C shell, TC shell, so like that. And also, we have seen what is the command line structure in Unix. And then we have seen some meta characters there are several types of meta characters like file name substitution, IO redirection, process execution, next quoting, similarly positional parameters, something like that. And these four are the uh, file name substitution meta characters like star, question mark, range, that is square brackets, and not. So we have seen some examples of these uh, file substitution meta characters, what a star can do, what a question mark can do, what a square bracket can do, what is a not can do. Similarly, we have seen the redirections, IO redirection, meta characters greater than, less than, double greater than, double less than, all these things. And we have seen how we can store the output of a command into a file, something like that. And similarly, we have also seen how we can take the input other than keyboard, that is, we can also take the input from a file also, that also we have seen with some examples. And these are the process execution meta characters. Those are five types. One is colon, then parenthesis, then end symbol, double end symbol, and no I mean or symbol, that is two vertical lines, that is called or symbol. So colon generally use it to separate several commands. So whenever you want to execute more commands, I mean more than one command at a time, so you can give the commands which should be separated by a column. Say for example, if you want to give who command, then followed by date, then followed by wc, you can give it a single line, but only thing you need to remember is you need to separate those commands by using the semicolon. So the first command will be executed first, followed by the second command, followed by the third command, and so on. So every output will be displayed on the screen one by one. That you can do by using the semicolon command. So because semicolon we have not used it till now, because we are executing a single command at a time. So that's if at any moment if you want to execute more commands, that means more than one command at a time on the command line, you can do that. But only thing you need to remember is you need to separate those commands by using a semicolon. Then the parenthesis. So this parenthesis is generally used to whenever if there is a requirement that you need to execute some certain commands in the subshell. Say for example, whenever you are writing shell scripts, there will be every chance that you will need to use some subshells. So we will create a shell in a shell. So whenever you create a shell in a shell, that is called a subshell. So in that subshell, if you want to create any, I mean, if you want to run any commands, you need to specify those commands in the parenthesis. So that means whenever you specify a command in a parenthesis, that means those commands will be executed in this subshell. So this concept you will understand when we start writing shell scripts. So shell programming, when we start, we will understand what is this, how we can use this, and why we should use parenthesis to run certain commands in the subshell. So all these concepts will be explained in the shell script or shell programming. Then end. So end symbol is used to execute any command in the background. So for example, as we in Windows also, what we do is whenever you are going to copy a big file, that means you are copying a file from pen drive to the system. So what we can do is we will just copies the file, then we can minimize it, and it will run in the background. So it will continues copying the files. Meanwhile, what we can do, we can execute some other command, or we can do some other task also. So in Unix, there is again there is a possibility that you need to copy a big file, so that that file will be copied from one place to another place, and that can be performed in the background, so that you can do some other work in the foreground. so that you can do. So whenever a command need to be executed in the background, you need to place a single and symbol before that command, so that the command will be performed in the background. So that process will not be seen on the monitor, so that will be done at the background, so you cannot able to see how the file is copying or some other task. So that means whenever you want to execute a command in background, you need to put that end symbol before that command. It means execute some process in background, like sorting or searching or something like copying the files, right? Then the double end symbol, as we have discussed earlier, this double end is nothing but end operation. So this end operation means it will execute the second command only if the first command is executed successfully. So whenever you are using two commands, so you need to execute the second command only if the first command is true. That means if whenever you are using or joining two commands, that means if the first command is executed successfully, then only the second command will be executed. Otherwise, the second command will not be executed. Similarly, by using the or, that is two vertical lines, that means that the execute the second command only if the first command fails. So we have discussed this or also, because we need to use very carefully. Like for example, if you are using a command like cd, then followed by some file directory d, and then one second. So we are using a cd command followed by a directory d1, then r symbol, then rm star. So whenever you are using this, say for example this command, what happens is we are using two commands here. One is cdd1 and the other one is rm star. So that means when you are using or symbol here, that means if the first command is executed successfully, then only the second command will be executed. I mean, fails, then only the second command will be executed. So say for example cdd1, if cdd1 not exists, what happens? The rm star will be executed definitely. So for example, if you are in a directory set d2, so what happens? The d2 files will be removed. So that's why I told you that whenever you are using or, you need to use it very carefully. Okay. Okay, we will see some with some examples. Like the first one, as I said, semicolon can be used to separate two commands. Here I have used two commands, who and date. So the who command will displace whoever is logged in, currently logged in. So there are two users are currently logged in. Those are training and training. Those are two users. One is using zero terminal and another one is using first terminal, and then followed by the second command date. So the date will displays the current date and time of the system. So you, like this you can use semicolon, so that you can separate any number of commands. Not only two, you can use more than two also, but only thing you need to separate them by using semicolon. And parenthesis, as I said, whenever you are using parenthesis, that means those commands will be executed in the subshell, not in the current shell. It will be executed in the subshell. So here who, pwd, date, those three commands will be executed in the subshell whenever you are creating a subshell. Then background process, as I said, whenever you are putting a, here I have used date and who. Now simply you can for example cp, before that you can use a single and symbol cp f1 f2. Okay, so forget this example. So cp f1 f2 means we are copying file 1 to file 2, and if the file 1 is very large, it will take some time to copy into file 2. So if you are putting some end symbol here before that cp, so this is dollar symbol, this is end symbol, don't be get confused. So before cp, if you put dollar end symbol, that means that file 1 will be copied to file 2, but the process, entire process will be done in the background. So it will not shows how the file is copying into file 2. Okay. And background process I have told. This is the example for the end. So end, as I said, date and who. So because if the date command executed successfully, then only the who command will be executed. This is the example for end operation. And for our operation, as I said, if the first command cat ec is not successful, then only the date command will be executed. So here see the example. Here I am using cat ece. So I am using to display the contents of ece file. Say for example, EC file is not there in the list, so still I'm trying to access that. So because EC file is not there, it will shows that EC no such file or directory, then only the date command will be executed. If EC is there, then the contents of EC will be displayed and the date command won't work, that means won't be executed. So this is the major difference between end and or. So end command, the first command is successful, then only the second command will be executed. In the or command or or operation, the second command will be executed only when the first command is fails to execute. So if the first command is failed, then only the second command will be executed. That is the simple thing you need to remember. Okay, then, so this is the positional parameters and special characters. So these are the meta characters. These are the type of another type of meta characters. Those are called positional parameters and special characters. So here, whenever you are using uh, the double dollar symbol, the first one is the double dollar symbol. So double dollar symbol is used to print the PID of the current shell. PID is nothing but the process identification number. So every process will have a PID number. That number will be displayed on the screen whenever you are using this double dollar symbol. Whenever you are using double dollar symbol with S, S stands for status. So whenever you want to check whether the given command is executed successfully or not, this is called status of the command. So while writing programs, we want to we may require that we need to check whether the previous command is executed or successfully or not. So while writing the shell scripts, we will use very frequently this command, $s symbol, $s command we will use very frequently to check whether the previous command is executed successfully or not. So this is gives the exit status of the last command executed. Exit status means whether it is true or false, or whether it is success or failed. So it will shows if the previous command is successfully executed, it will give 0. If the previous command is not executed successfully, it will give 1. That is called the exit status of any command. So you can check this exit status of any command in the C language. Whatever the command you executed, immediately if you type $s, it will give 0 if the previous command is executed successfully, and it gives 1 if the previous command is not executed successfully. So 0 means true or success, 1 means fail or false. That you need to understand. Then dollar exclamatory mark, the third one, will gives you the PID of the background process. So the double dollar symbol will gives the PID of the current shell, and now here the PID, this is the process identification number of the background process. So as I said previously, whenever you are using a CP command, before that I put the end symbol, then F1 and F2. That means the CP command will runs in the background. And if you want to check this process ID of this CP command, you can check by using the dollar exclamatory mark. So this will gives the number of the, there will be every process will have an identification number, unique number. Every process will have that number, will be displayed on the screen. Okay, then dollar hyphen gives the current setting of shell. So what is the shell settings and everything we will discuss in the next slides. So then we will going to understand what is the shell settings. Okay, then dollar hash symbol gives the total number of positional parameters. As I said, positional parameters are nothing but the arguments passed to a command. So whenever a command is given some input or arguments, how many number of arguments you want to check, you can use dollar then hash symbol. So dollar hash symbol will always gives the number of the positional parameters applied to a command. Okay, then dollar o gives the name of the command which is being executed. So whenever you want to check which command has previously executed, if you want to check the display the name of the command, you can use dollar o symbol. Then dollar star will gives the list of all the shell arguments. So generally shell have several types of arguments, like 10 to 15 arguments will every shell will have. So those arguments will be displayed. Whatever the arguments are there for the shell will be displayed, and what are the arguments and everything we will see in the next slides. And the next concept is creating new commands. So till now what we are doing is we are using commands which are already exist. So whatever the commands which the provider is supplied to us, we are using till now. So how now what we can do is we can create our own commands. For example, say if you want to count number of users currently logged in, what you can do, you can just type who, but who will displays all the information of every user. That means the username, the terminal number, the date and time of the current logged in, those things will be displayed by using who. But I want only the number, that means how many number of users are logged in. Say for example 5 users are logged in or 10 users are logged in, that I want to check. So for that what we can do is we can create our new command or create our own type of command. Like here the example I have seen, see who, then piping symbol wc minus l. This piping symbol, as we have discussed, piping symbol is used to combine two commands. So what happens here is whatever the output of who command will be given as the input to wc minus l. As we know that wc minus l will count the number of lines. Say who command will display, say for example user 1 terminal 0 date and time, then user 2 terminal 1 date and time, user 3 terminal 2 date and time. Say for example it displays it gives the output like this. So this output will be fed to the wc minus l command. So now the wc minus l command, what the wc minus l command will do is it will count the number of lines. So 1 2 3 lines are there. So the total this command's output will be 3, which is nothing but the number of users currently logged in. So like this you can create your own commands. So whenever you want to check the number of users, you can use simply this one, right? So second example also I have given here. So again I am using two commands here. One is ls minus l and the other one is wc minus l. So as I said, ls minus l is nothing but the long list of files. It gives the file type, file permissions, the name of the owner, name of the group, current creation or date and time of the creation, and the file name, something like that. It will be going to display it. So if you have, say for example 1000 files or 100 files are there in your directory, so all the things will be displayed. But what I want is I want to only the count of the number of files. So what I have done, I have piped this to wc minus l. So again what happens, whatever the output of this ls minus l command will be given as the input to wc minus l. Then what happens, the wc minus l command will count the number of lines, and after counting what I have here used is greater than symbol to list. So what this greater than symbol will do, it will redirect this output of this file or the command to list file. So now what the list contains, the list contains the output of the ls minus l piping symbol wc minus l, and it is nothing but 124. So what we can do, we can just display the contents of list later. So now what is the list file contains? The total number of files which the your current directory contains. Again I am explaining you for the brief idea. So simple ls minus l, we know what is ls minus l. It displays all the information of the files which are your directory contains. Say for example there are 124 files in your directory. So like this it will going to display if you use only ls minus l command. So it displays all the 124 files. Each file contains some information like file type, file permissions, name of the user or the owner, name of the group, date and time of the creation, file name, number of links, something information. Every file will have these information, everything will be there. So what I have done here, after executing this ls minus l command, I have given this output as the input to the next command, that is wc minus l. So what is wc minus l? Wc minus l is used to count the number of lines which is given to it. So now this is the output of the first command we have given to the wc minus l. Now it counts the number of lines. So how many lines will be there? If there are 124 files, then 124 lines will be there. So that information I am storing or I am redirecting by using the greater than symbol to a file name known as list. Now what is list contains? List contains the number 124. That means 124 files are there in your current directory. So that you can use to display it later by using the cat command. Now, so what is cat list? Cat list displays the contents of list, which is nothing but 124. Okay. Now command line arguments as parameters, as said, it is command arguments or positional parameters we will call it as. What it states is command line arguments are the arguments specified at the command prompt with a command or script to be executed. As I said, if you are giving cp file1 file2, that means this is the command cp and taking two arguments, one is f1, other one is f2. These are called arguments. So arguments are nothing but the things which are supplied to a command to execute successfully. Okay, it's very simple. So within the command script, the passed parameters are accessible by using positional parameters. So these arguments can be accessed by using positional parameters. So what are positional parameters? Positional parameters are denoted by $0 to $9. So only 10 positional parameters will be there for any command. Those are $0 to $9. So what is $0 contains? The $0 contains, the $0 always contains the command which we are going to execute. So whatever the command we are going to execute, that command will be stored in $0. So as I said, cp f1 f2, for example, I am using cp f1 f2. So that means this cp command is stored in $0. Then f1 will be stored in $1 and f2 will be stored in $2. And if there are anything else, those will be stored in $3, $4, so on up to $9. So remember one thing here, if there are arguments more than 10, only the first 10 arguments will be stored. Okay, so and remember one thing, in those positional parameters, the first positional parameter $0 always contains the command. Okay, and the remaining 9 positional parameters will contains the first 9 arguments of the command. Okay, remember that. As I said, these range from 0 to $0 to $9, where $0 refers to the name of the command itself, and $1 to 9 are the first through to the ninth parameter. So first parameter to ninth parameter are the next. So for example, I am taking here one example. Echo, this is CSE department. Okay, where echo is a command. So echo is nothing but a printf command in C. So whatever the thing you will give to printf command, it will display on the screen. Similarly in C, in Unix we will use echo command. Echo is nothing but printf command in C language, right? So what we want to do is we want to display this is CSE department. We want to display this is CSE department. So as I said, first positional parameter $0. So what $0 contains? $0 contains the command. Command is nothing but echo. And then $1 contains the first argument, that is nothing but this. So $1 contains this. $2 contains what? Is. $3 contains CSC. And $4 contains department. And whenever you use echo $1, so what is $1? Nothing but this will be displayed. Echo $2, what is $2? Is will be displayed. Echo $3, what it displays? CSC. Echo $4, what it displays? Department. Like this, everything will be stored in the positional parameters, and only there are 10 positional parameters, and the first positional parameter is always used to display or store the command. Nothing else can be stored in that first. And there is another command known as set command. So set command is used to assign positional parameters to a command. For example, here I am using set, this is CSC department. So set this is CSC department means we are assigning what? This to $1, is to $2, CSC to $3, department to $4, and set set is a command. So therefore $0 will be assigned to set, And here if you want to check, you can use echo command, echo $1. What is $1? This. And similarly I'm using displaying $3 also. What is $3? CSE. So what it displays? This CSE. Okay, so set command is used to set positional parameters, as well as set command is also used to assign variables, which we are going to discuss later. Set command is also used to assign variables also. Okay, so those things we will discuss later. So for the time being, what set command can do is set command can assign arguments to positional parameters. Okay, then shift command, it is very interesting command. So this is related to the positional parameters only. Though the shift command in Unix is used to move the command line arguments to one position left. Okay, we also used the shift command in C language also. So here what happens is, whenever you use shift command, if say for example in the previous command, if $1 is this, $2 is, $3 is CSE, $4 is department. If you use shift command, what happens? The first this will be ignored, and the $1 will be is. So it shifts one positional parameter to the left, and $1 will be is, $2 will be what? CSC, and $3 will be department. So it shifts one position to left. That is the use of shift command. So that means the value in $2 moves to $1, the value of $3 moves to $2, and so on. That happens. Okay, so with a small example also I am going to explain. Set hello, good morning, how do you do, welcome to MBR college. So here what happens? Hello is nothing but $1, good is $2, morning is $3, how 4, do 5, you 6, do 7, welcome 8 to 9. So the first 9 positional parameters will be assigned till here. So the MVR college will not be stored anywhere in any positional parameters, because there are more than 9 arguments are there. Okay, now what we want to do is, I want to bring this MVR into this positional parameters list. So what I can do is, I can use shift 2. So now whenever you are using shift 2, that means two positions will be shifted towards the left. So the first two letters will be deleted, that is hello and good morning will not be there. So now morning will becomes 1, how becomes 2, do becomes 3, you becomes 4, do becomes 5, welcome becomes 6, 2 becomes 7, MVR becomes 8, and college becomes 9. Okay, that's I have stated here. Now $1 will become morning, and so on up to $8. I mean, like 8 will becomes MVR, and 9 being college. Okay, so this is how you can use shift command. And what is the use of the shift command, I will share you later, because shift command is generally used to whenever you want to perform same operation on different arguments one by one, you will use shift command. That is, shift command line arguments is useful when you are performing similar actions to all arguments one by one without changing the variable name. Then the shift command is used, and how it uses, how what is the purpose of the shift command, we will see in the uh, like shell programming. Okay, so hope this session you everyone got clear idea. Okay, and one more thing I want to share is, we are already completed more than 3 units. We have already touched the fourth unit also. So we are far before, far advanced in our syllabus. Don't worry about that. So I will also going to share you the lecture notes of the first 3 and 4th unit immediately after the completion of those units. So 1 2 I will share immediately, and 3 4 I will share a little later. Okay, hope everyone uh, having a good time, and as per the government order, we may see you very soon in the month of October. And because I think already you all are aware of that, the first mid which is scheduled from 20th of this month is postponed from the JNT Kakinada. So we are already done with our first unit syllabus, first mid syllabus, so don't worry about that. And in the coming week or next week I will start the second assignment. So because already who have not submitted the first assignment is already lost their marks for the assignment marks, they are already lost. So they need not to worry about the second assignment, because once the first assignment is not done, you are not done with the assignment. So whoever submitted the second assignment, you please continue to submit the second one also, so that you will get the full 5 marks for the assignment, right? And hope you all again having a good day. Thank you.